Box with yours truly, Miss Confession. Thank you to everyone who reached out to me last week to make sure that I'm alive and well. Here I am, back in the Confession Box. Let's get going. Okay, Confession 7. Haha, here we are. And that is that I'm a toxic friend. Yep, you heard it here, folks, so let's just dive in, okay? So when I say that I'm the toxic friend, no, I am not saying that I still am. I'm saying I used to be the old Haley, okay? She was young. She was fragile. We know this. We've heard of her. We know who she is. But I think that it's super important that I talk about her being the toxic friend because she really was. And, you know, I say she because, again, I'm not that toxic friend anymore. I've done some evaluation work. I've done some self-reflection. I have moved forward. There's still work to be had, but here we are. The first time that I knew I was a toxic friend was when I was about 5. And I can remember I've never really stood up to my friends that I had at that time. They always wanted me to do things or be involved in things that, you know, I just was a little uncomfy with and I knew wasn't the right thing to do. However, I never stood my ground. I said, yep, absolutely, let's go forward. Here we go. Choo-choo, here we go on the struggle bus. And that's exactly what I did from the time that I was 5 until I was about, 21 when I began to realize that I was kind of toxic. That was, the first way that I was toxic. I never stood up for myself. I followed the same scripts. I did whatever everyone else wanted me to do because I never wanted to be disliked. The second way I was toxic was I would just, kind of exaggerate and, lie a lot of the times and tell stories in order to make people like me, but more importantly, to make my other friends like other people. For example, I would tell stories about myself that were so outlandish. Everyone knew they were not real, okay? People knew it. I knew it, they knew it, everyone knew it. It was just very unspoken. But I literally thought that these people were invested, that that's why they wanted to be my friend. So I would continue to tell these stories about crazy things that I had done over the weekend and things that I had done in my childhood that I didn't actually do, just so they'd like me or find me interesting. I didn't do them. To this day, I can tell you, I did not do half the things. I think I said I wrestled an octopus one time. Clearly not true. I'm just very scared of them, okay? I'm not a fan of the tentacles. Regardless, that was the second way that I was toxic. I was always exaggerating, stretching the truth, making it so my life was big and flashy and everyone wanted to be a part of it. Third way that I was toxic, and this is one that I know a lot of us struggle with. I would consistently focus on the number of friends that I had rather than the quality of my friendships. We hear this all the time, folks. It's quality and quantity, okay? I, per se, was very focused on the quantity. I always cared about how many friends I had versus how the friendships were. I literally remember having competitions with my friends saying, who can add more people on Facebook tonight? At one point I had like 2,000 friends that I didn't even know. Okay, I didn't know them. I didn't know any of them. But I was just so glad to say that they were my friend and that I had that number. Okay, fourth, really exposing myself here. Fourth, I loved drama. Like, I fed on it. I loved when there was a good cat fight going on. I loved being in the middle of it. I loved hearing all of the problems. As long as I wasn't involved, I love to hear about it, okay? Last but not least, number 5, and this is my personal favorite. I always wanted people to feel sorry for me. I lived for the pity, okay? Like, spotlight on, cue the tears, something in my life is going wrong. And those confession boxers are the 5 toxic traits that I exhibited. Now, it wasn't until I was about 21 that I really started to hone in on this. I'm like, okay, something's not right here. 21 was the time that I had ended up going to a 4-year university. I ended up meeting amazing people. They were great friends. I loved the people that I was surrounded with. They were genuine people that I honestly looked to as role models. I started to realize, though, as I hung out with them, that they weren't buying into the things that I was selling. And I should say, I never start a friendship with the 5 toxic traits. Oh gosh, no, we save those to like month 3. Okay, like month 3, once you're around them a little bit more, you're a little bit more comfortable, then we razzle-dazzle a little bit with the 5 toxic traits. But with these people, I knew right off the bat, like week 1, I'm like, oh gosh, they don't care about stories. They just want to, they are truth seekers. They want to know everything. They were totally okay if someone didn't agree with the status quo or if someone didn't agree with the plan, you wanted to change it up a little bit. They were fine with that. They're like, oh, spicy, I like it, let's go. There was only like 5 of them in the pack, okay? They were a lone wolf pack. And at first, I was like, okay, there's only 5 of them. Do I really want to be their friend? But then I was like, oh wait, okay, I really like their conversations. I have a lot in common with them. They seem pretty chill. Like, I think I could just kind of go and hang out with them and not feel so pressured to be 8 million things at once. So I said, let's go, let's get it, let's do the 5, okay? There were no problems. Like, these girls had no problems with anybody. Like, they didn't dislike anyone. They never talked badly about people. They were just there for pure enjoyment of each other. They loved the entertainment. They got along so well. If someone was a little crazy, there was a little drama going around, they kind of just, not gonna pay attention to it. I was like, interesting. I don't know what that's like. Let me learn more. And last but not least, number 5, They did not care about a pity party, okay? If they were upset about something, they were very open about their feelings. They're like, hey, you know what? I'm a little sad today. Things are not going as planned. You might see a tear roll down my face. Let's wipe it off and be the girl I am. Let's get started. And I was like, okay, don't know anything about that. Again, need to get my notepad and write it down because I don't know what this is like. As I became friends with them and I, inserted myself in the friend group, again, disclaimer, they had no option of being friends with me. I literally told the one, like, hey, we're gonna be best friends. And then as a result, I ended up becoming best friends with the other girls. Love you all. As I started to hang out with them, I started to realize a huge difference between them and myself and like the people that I used to hang out with. And I'd also like to say that the people that I used to hang out with, not all of them are toxic, A, and B, it wasn't only girls. People tend to think that toxic friendships only happen between girls, but they can be between guys too, okay? Glad I set that straight. Anyway, I started to see that, okay, these people are super chill. I'm never used to be this chill. I'm used to something always being wrong, or there's always being a problem, or people not liking each other, or negativity, blah, 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 blah. Everything that I had mentioned before. I started to see that friendships are meant to be positive and uplifting and, fun. Like, imagine that. I had no clue. 21 years of my life, I had no idea that that's what friendships were like. I slowly began to realize that I was being the toxic friend, and that's why I had so many toxic friends, whether it was from my childhood or my high school or family friends. I was surrounded by so many toxic people because I was a toxic person. It's so funny, like the things that we draw in from the universe picks up on our energy that we put out. So if I was putting out that I was a toxic friend, guess what? I was getting toxic friends back to me like a magnet. I began working on myself. I began, inserting myself more into their friendship, but really learning from them and learning how to be more positive and more upbeat and just enjoying life rather than focusing on so many negative things. I think the biggest difference that I found was the conversations I was having with these girls. Like I said before, we weren't talking about anyone. We weren't bashing people. We weren't spreading gossip and hate, and people in the friend group weren't fighting. We were sharing things about our interests and our hobbies and our dreams and our goals, and we were going out to lunch and we were laughing. I literally could not even tell you now a time where we had fought with each other or talked badly about someone because we just wanted to and we had nothing better to talk about. Every single one of us, whether you're a boy or a girl, can admit that we talk crap sometimes. Like, absolutely, that's part of human life. But we need to learn when to stop that and to just learn to vent. If someone's bothering you, absolutely get it off your chest and vent, but you don't need to tear that person down. You don't need to attack their physical looks, you don't need to attack their mentality, you don't need to attack their family. Like, just stop. Like, that's petty. That's stuff from high school. Furthermore, I know every single one of us can admit that at one point or another, we wanted people to feel sorry for us over something. Life is hard sometimes, and sometimes it makes it so much better when someone can rub your back and be like, you know what? Yeah, life sucks right now. I get it. Who doesn't want that? We all want that at one point or another. But the difference is you don't need that every day. And if you do need it every day, you might be the toxic friend. But it's okay. We need to learn that it's okay to be the toxic friend sometimes, as long as you're willing to change it. And as long as you're willing to do the hard work to be like, yikes, I don't want to act like that anymore. Because what I found was when I was a toxic friend, I was just inviting more toxic friends into my life, and I was miserable. I hated my friendships. I didn't want to go out with them. I didn't want to spend extra time with them. I could say that 95% of the people that are in my life are not toxic. And that is because I have changed myself. I've changed the people that I allow into my life because I've changed who I am, and not in a bad way. I stopped being negative. I stopped focusing on all the drama. I stopped inserting myself into problematic situations. I stopped letting people feel sorry for me and wanting people to feel sorry for me. I stopped the exaggerations. I stopped making things out of nothing. I realized I was a toxic friend and I cut it off. I knocked it off. I was done. D-O-N-E, done. And that's what we have to do sometimes. And that's what this video is all about. Maybe you're the toxic friend and you're watching this video and you're like, yup, I have a lot of self-reflection to do. Or maybe you're watching this video and you're like, wow, I have some toxic friends in my life that could probably see the door. See you later. Either one is okay. You just gotta be able to change it, and you gotta be willing to change it. And that's what Miss Confession is all about this week. Cut the toxic friends out. Stop being the toxic friends. Let's get it together. Folks, it's 2020. I still don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but here we are. Please, 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 please make sure that you're giving Miss Confession a follow and you're staying up to date every Thursday with a new dysfunctional video. And that's all I have for this week, guys. I'll see you next week. Bye, guys.